J. Kana and the Nighttime Band with Wayne Silvers, Juan Santos, and Aaron D'Souza. Thanks, guys. I am thrilled for our next guest. We have an incredible lady. She is also not only a Rogers volunteer here, but she's an author. Her name is Sandy Yousef. Hi. Thank you for being here with us. This is so awesome.
Yeah.
This is so cool to have this. This is your first published book.
Yes, officially my first book.
And she is very, very young. And so what I was telling her off camera was that a lot of people wish, like, I wish I could do, you know, fill in the blanks. And then, but you've actually, like, went out and did this.
Yeah.
And this is awesome. So tell us about this book and pronounce the title for me.
So it's called Seeds of Sophrosyne. Sophrosyne is a Greek term in philosophy that means basically, I can read it at the back. A healthy state of mind characterized by self-control, moderation, and a deep awareness of one's true self, resulting in true happiness. Oh. So when I wanted to write this book, I thought of what I wanted to write about, and the most obvious answer was to write about myself.
Right.
That's what I know most, right?
Yeah.
But it didn't feel right, and then I started writing this book, and my initial intent, well, I didn't have an initial intent, and then I realized that it was more of sort of raising awareness for mental health issues in countries that are not in the West. I think most books that have been written about depression, like, you know, Perks of Being a Wallflower and Finding Alaska, all these mainstream books are all in the West. And there's nothing written about people, well, I don't know, I've never heard of anything written about someone my age or, you know, older or younger who's faced depression in, like, Asia or the Middle East, where depression isn't seen as just a problem, it's seen as a weakness. It's seen as more of something that they have to suppress and, you know, not be, like, a lot of people end up not being treated properly for it because it's so suppressed, and, you know, the families don't take the time to understand it or don't, I mean, that's not everyone, I'm not speaking for everyone, but like, that's the majority, because it's based in India, and it's really, India's actually, like, the culture is very similar to my own culture, which is the Egyptian culture.
Okay.
So I wanted it to not be specifically about myself as much as it is just sort of something I'm trying to raise awareness about.
Right.
And this intent didn't come from the beginning. I sort of found this at the end. I'm like, so that's what I wrote about.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And how long did it take for you to write this book?
It took a few months. I was on a really tight schedule because the way I got it published was one of the professors at the professional writing program at UTM owns a publishing company, and basically he offers this opportunity for students to publish their books, and so we had, like, this really tight schedule, and we had to typeset it, we had to design it, we had to do everything ourselves. So, and I was writing the book during it, which I wasn't supposed to do. You were supposed to have the book written before you went into this, into this opportunity, but.
And what you said off camera is that there's a few that are chosen to do this?
Yeah, so you get, like, it's a whole interview process to know if you've already got a book written, first of all.
Right.
I didn't have it written. I actually wrote this during the semester because I didn't want to miss out on the opportunity.
Right.
I've always wanted to write a book, and I'm like, you know, I'm just going to do it.
That's awesome.
It doesn't matter how stressful it is. I'm just going to pull my weight and do it.
Right.
Yeah.
And so because it's written in India, it's about similar to your life, so it's fiction, but it's also, I think with anything that we create, we give us a piece of ourselves as well. What is your goal for this book?
In terms of,
let's say if you know, you want to raise awareness for mental health, or maybe have other people, you know, do something about it on the east side.
Honestly, I'm not, you know, a famous person or anything. I'm just, it's my first book. I always say that, you know, like, I can't change the world, but everyone can start by changing the little bit around them.
Right, exactly.
So if I can just get, you know, just the community around me here to read it and to sort of, you get when you read this, you get to see the perspective of someone who's gone through depression.
Right.
And this book shows you that it's not a lost cause, that just because you have a mental illness doesn't mean it's not what's going to define you.
Right.
A lot of people get out of it. A lot of people, if they're treated properly, if it's not suppressed, you can move past it. You can, there's always going to be relapses and there's always going to be problems, but that's not what defines you. You're still a person with a mental illness. You're not just the mental illness. And if I can raise awareness about that, just even my family and close friends, that's enough for me. Because there's a lot of other people that are, trying to raise awareness for this too, all around the world, I'm sure.
That's awesome. That gave me chills. Yeah. So I love this artwork. I don't know if you guys can get a close-up. Is that, you said you had to design the entire book?
Yeah. So the artwork itself was actually done by my best friend's older brother.
Wow.
He's an amazing artist. His name is Eddie Udo. He's in Australia, and he sent it all the way here.
That's so cool.
And the thing about the design that I really love is, do you see the pink outline?
Yes, I just noticed it.
It's inspired by an X-ray. So the whole skull and everything is inspired by an image of an X-ray of a skull.
Right.
Because it says in my book that you can't see depression on an X-ray. You can't see it. It's very hard to identify.
Right.
So I thought it fit really well.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's so cool. What was your favorite thing about writing this book?
Finishing it. It was probably the worst experience ever writing this book. It was just the amount of self-doubt that writers go through is not something I anticipated at all.
Right.
It was just a constant internal battle. Who wants to read this? Who's is it important? Who's even gonna care about what I'm saying?
Right.
So my favorite part was just having my first copy in my hands. It was probably the most surreal moment ever that it existed. It was tangible finally.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And so I'm assuming your least favorite about this whole thing was all the other stuff, like the self-doubt and the time frames and stuff.
Yeah.
What was the least favorite thing about this?
The least favorite part for me was probably, I spent a week. I had to finish it at a certain point and it wasn't happening for me. I just had this horrible, I think it was in February, I just had this really bad block that I couldn't come up with the ending because the ending would define the whole, that's what everyone's going to remember, right? And I literally went to Newfoundland where my mom lives and I just sat there and I locked myself up and I didn't talk to anyone for the whole reading week.
Right.
And I got it done, but it was probably the worst time. It was very just me in my brain and just, it was not a good time. But I got it done, so it was worth it.
That's
it was
awesome.
So worth it, yeah.
I was lucky to do an event with Margaret Atwood, and she talked about writer's block. And someone asked her, what do you do? She's like, I don't ever get writer's block. And is the reason why was because she starts to write something of another medium. Is that something maybe that you had to do, or was it, when you were focused in during your reading week, was that what helped you, or was it just that,
Honestly, the only thing that helped me was just staring at the page, at my laptop.
Oh, really?
Until it drove me crazy, and I'm like, I'm bored of just sitting here, I'm just going to write. That's the only thing that, that's my solution to writer's block. I figured that out during my writing of this book, is just don't do anything. Just get bored of sitting there until you eventually push yourself to do something.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
There's so much self-determination, and that's great. We have about 30 seconds left. Your event is happening at the Gladstone?
Yes, so my book launch with 12 other amazing writers is at the Gladstone Hotel, June 7th. You can come listen to some of the readings of the book, get a signed copy. We're all going to be selling our books.
Nice.
So it's going to be a really nice night.
That's so amazing.
And it starts, I think, at 6 p.m.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there tickets for this event?
No, it's a free event. So,
awesome.
Yeah, come.
Excellent. Thank you so much for being here, Sandy. This is so lovely. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, make sure you check out our book, June 7th, at the Gladstone Hotel. And take it away, the Kana and the Nighttime Band.